What's up, you guys? It's Lo, Beauty Demon, and I'm back to talk about some more bullshit I'm seeing on the internet, specifically, mostly Twitter, but it's honestly on so many different platforms, I can't even keep track. I was not initially going to talk about this at all because really, I don't have that much interest in it per se, and this is specifically Gabbie Hanna and all of her crazy Twitter rants she's going on. I also was not going to bring up Trisha Paytas specifically, but I did see a couple tweets right before I started filming this that I did want to talk about real quick. So first I want to talk about Gabbie Hanna. Well, first, before I really get into this, I want to say everything in this is my opinion. Nothing in this is fact. This is just my commentary on what I'm viewing outwards and all that fun stuff. I urge you guys to leave your comments below as well. And please do not send anybody that I'm talking about in this any negativity or hate or harassment or anything. There's already enough bullshit going on as it is. Nobody needs anything else. So moving on, now I want to talk about what's going on with Gabbie Hanna. I'm not going to break down all the people she's attacking and all that stuff because that's just way too much. There's plenty of other videos that break that down. I don't have time for that at all. However, there were a few things that I saw that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I kind of let it sit and think about it for a while before I decided or kind of formulated my own opinion of it, more or less. And something that I see a lot is Gabbie Hanna complaining that people don't support her because she's a woman, or they attack her because she's a woman, or they think she's hysterical because she's a woman, and then she immediately turns around and attacks other women and uses demeaning language with them, like calling them bitches and whatnot, and even doubling down on that in some tweets. And that is the exact behavior that she is fighting against. She is trying to call out misogyny while projecting misogyny onto other people and then exhibiting internalized misogyny in and of itself right there in tweets. So I did take a couple screenshots. I might have these kinds of things out of order. Oh, I did take a screenshot I thought was funny because in one of her initial tweets, which I even thought this was weird, it kind of kicked off where she took a picture of her in her underwear, showing some underboob, whatever you do, you girl. But the caption was, I'll be able to F both your parents and the person that you love but could never have or couldn't make it work or something like that. And that even statement in and of itself was kind of like a internalized misogynistic sort of thing where it's like pushing onto them like, I want what you can't have because I'm better than you. I'm different than you. I'm a different kind of girl. But what I found interesting was, what was it? Dolan Dark actually replied to it. What did he say? You'll have to dig 6 feet or something. And then she started to respond. But somebody did say, okay, Gabbie, are you going to apologize for calling the girl who criticized your poetry a bitch? Look forward to your response. And she said, no. She's a bitch. Well, in other tweets, she's complaining about demeaning behavior that other people exhibited to her in playing a game called Smash or Pass, where she even reacted to it in some cases. And she said that was demeaning to her as a woman, which I can understand that stance, except for the fact that she did several videos of Smash or Pass as well, and then she is turning around and using demeaning language towards other women. I mean, all of it just boils down to internalized misogyny in some sense, because she also tends to focus more on, cat hair floating by, on criticizing other female creators like Hello Leash. Over the past summer, I watched Gabbie Hanna's stands completely attack and really crush Hello Leash and what was, just because she was doing an initial breakdown of Gabbie Hanna and all the controversy she's been through. That resulted in all of Gabbie Hanna's stands completely trying to ruin her life and the lives of everyone around her for absolutely no reason. What? So She also highlights like Demi Lovato, who said, "It's time the media stops gaslighting women who stand up for themselves." Now, Demi Lovato just got in her own heat as well because she tried to call out a candy place that was offering sugar-free options, for people who can't have sugar or maybe who don't want sugar, and tried to call it toxic diet culture. And it's just like, girl, okay. But this one was really interesting. Gabbie said, "A woman being called crazy for having emotions and defending herself against people constantly exploiting her for money." I've heard this story before a lot. I don't even have any words, to be honest with you, because I never hear anything positive from Gabbie Hanna. I don't see a lot of positive things being put out. I understand that she has a lot of pain and she struggles a lot and she uses her music to express that pain and get it out. But then apparently she also uses Twitter to lash out. I'm guessing Twitter is her other kind of art form. I wanted to read some of the other tweets. So Gabbie writes this tweet. Also Gabbie writes, "Call me crazy about another woman, thereby exploiting her for money." Makes sense. And that was a song that initially, I guess, was about Trisha. And then somebody said, "Her and Trisha wrote it together and it was for Trish. She no longer wanted it." And then that person responded, "According to Gabbie, Trisha disputes this." I'm going to drink. I feel like Peter Mon. Reading tweets, spilling too much tea. Sounds like case number 5467 of misogyny, and they didn't spell it right, which, I can understand. Misogyny is a very hard word to spell. I've had to look it up a couple times. Somebody replied, "And her attacking female drama channels and not male ones isn't?" Thank you. That's Kaylee Frostick. And somebody else said, "Exactly. Angelique is not the only one who has made videos of her." Oh, it's not Angelique. Angelica. I'm so sorry. And Angelica actually spends a lot of time defending her. And somebody else said, Big Bag Energy said this, "Her whole misogyny argument is mute. She spends a whole day belittling and attacking other women on smaller platforms. It's sad, and honestly, I hope she can get to a better place soon." And Big Bag Energy, bag_second, totally 100%. She just uses misogyny to try and argue misogyny and is projecting a lot of it onto other people from what I'm seeing, because everything she accuses other people of, she kind of does the same thing. And it creates this just like, there is concern for her mental health. I'm concerned about it, and other people's safety. Of course, a lot of people have brought up that she gets really high and then drives around and rants on her phone. You shouldn't really be making videos while you're driving. That just doesn't seem safe to me. Especially I feel like Los Angeles is a really scary place to drive where there's a lot of cars and stuff like that. I would have anxiety just period driving around there. I don't drive a lot. So there's that. But then also there was a video posted, and this was posted 24 hours ago. I watched a clip of it. I have not watched the whole thing. I'm going to link it down below. I'm pulling it up right now. But this guy, let me turn the volume down, actually was in her Patreon and saw right before she started kicking all of this drama off that she was more or less just posting about how she was going to be kicking some stuff off. And some people were supporting her, but there were a couple comments that were trying to talk her out of this, more or less. Sid, C-I-D. The video is called "I Joined Gabbie Hanna's Patreon and Found the Truth." So, and Def Noodles actually posted a clip of this on his Twitter, which is where I found the link in the first place, but I'll post the link to his videos down below. I would totally recommend watching it because he does show people were at first egging her on, even her friends. So she has people in the background supporting her doing this. And I did watch a little bit of Hella Leish's live stream today where she even said, your stans did illegal things that could be seen as illegal in the eyes of the law and with harassment and stuff. And Gabbie Hanna did in a live stream that she's privated or taken down, where she pretty much said to her stans, defend me in any way you see fit. Well, come on. When you actually have a real legitimate stance, they're going to do crazy stuff. Which brings me on to what Trisha Paytas tweeted earlier today. I think it was just a couple hours ago. So the Frenemies podcast came out today, and everybody, probably including Gabbie Hanna, expected them to be talking about her the entire time. But Trisha and Ethan really didn't. I think he made one little joke and then that was like it. Honestly, I don't watch the Frenemies podcast because it's way too long, and I have other things that I want to be watching and doing, and I'm trying to get better at making videos. So here we are. I'm reading tweets. Trisha tweeted 4 hours ago, rule number 1 right now for me is to de-escalate a trigger is to de-escalate triggers to disengage. I really hate that I let someone have control over my well-being. I slipped up even trying to communicate with somebody who doesn't want communication, and I hate how that made me feel. I set a boundary by blocking someone, and it was not respected by that person, and I'm still being tormented mentally with people relaying information to me. Leave me alone. I'm like begging. I've been respectful all this year. I've been trying to have compassion and empathy. I struggle daily with voices in my head and having somebody convincing me things happened when I was adamant they didn't, and then the next day admitting they didn't. It is so damaging to this condition I've been open about, and that's why I once again am distancing myself. And this is like a video of between her and Gabbie and some like voice memo. It's on Trisha's Twitter, so I'll let you guys go there. And so she continues on. I was willing to forgive disclosing my information about my sexual health to my partner, which she had zero knowledge of and was incorrect because allegedly Gabbie Hanna told her Trisha's ex-boyfriend that Trisha had herpes, which, yeah, none of her business. And apparently Shane Dawson is the one that told Gabbie Hanna that about Trisha. Also, I need to stop right now because I realize I may have been misgendering Trisha in the beginning of this. I apologize. I just caught that. I don't know if I have used incorrect pronouns with Trisha. I apologize. So they tweeted. Some of this I feel like is kind of personal about what Trisha's struggles are. So I don't necessarily want to go into any of that. Okay, so anyway, after the sexual health thing, she said, but triggering my schizophrenia was a fresh diagnosis. Yeah, I didn't really want to go into that. But she said she tried to move past it so many times, but she kept pushing, like Gabbie kept pushing. It's proven she creates false narratives, and somebody with a sound mind would find this troubling. So imagine how someone currently struggling tries to keep intrusive thoughts at bay is being triggered. I've been very nice and respectful at the podcast because Trisha was on Gabbie's podcast, and I did watch a good chunk of the podcast just because I was curious. I knew they had feuds and stuff like that, and Trisha seemed very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. She just seemed very like unsure and distrustful, and like they were keeping Gabbie at bay, like they didn't completely have stock in what Gabbie was saying to them. So when they were in that podcast, it keeps going back up to the top. That is so annoying. I don't wish her any ill will, and she was a super kind person. I understood her more as somebody who had been hurt a lot in her past, but I can't put myself in a position of somebody twisting reality. This is why I blocked Gabbie. She spent so much of the podcast convincing me of stuff that I shared poetry with her. I've never shared poetry with anybody. And she said to me over and over, yes, you did. My voices in my head were triggered for weeks. I had to block. Oh, that's so horrible. Like, to have somebody pushing a false narrative for you when you're already questioning like what's happening in your day-to-day life already, that's got to be a really scary thing and even more confusing. Creating a false reality for anyone is damaging, but creating a false reality and trying to convince someone that stuff happened that didn't to someone who is very open about being mentally ill for years is the most dangerous thing in the world. Then she did have a tweet that, I don't know, it's just a little too I said she again. I'm sorry, Trisha. They had a tweet that is, I don't know, it's a little too intimate and personal for me to want to share. That's their thing. Darn it. They did say they didn't share this to gain sympathy. I just shared this for her to understand the severity on what she triggered me, because what they tweeted was pretty intense. I blocked her to avoid this, and it's all over my timeline. I was happy to put aside the herpes thing and any other issues, but this crossed the line and it wasn't safe. Now, what really caught my attention was these last two tweets that they put out. Please do not send me anything Gabbie related. Please. I left the studio to talk to somebody today. Oh, I guess that means she's I guess that means they are recording music. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. I know better. I know better. So anyway, I left the studio to talk to somebody today. It's the most triggering thing in the world to even see her face. Just stop. I'm stopping. Publicly privating. I want nothing to do with her. And then not that long later, they tweeted, Gabbie has repeatedly stated she's fine, mentally stable and well. I am stating this right now so there's no confusion. The past 24 hours, I am not well. I am on my way to CGT right now. I don't know what that is. And need immediate help and will receive it. I will log off now because I need to. And that, I'm glad Trisha is getting help. I'm sure Moses is taking them to wherever that place is. But this is also a huge problem because now Gabbie is actually seriously affecting the life of another person who is struggling with a serious mental disorder. And Gabbie, all of this week, has been toting that she has been dealing with ADHD, which apparently she also just got a diagnosis for. I don't know. And she's making some 12-part series about something. I don't know if it's her struggle through finding ADHD, but she's seriously triggering a person to the point where they actually have to go and seek serious medical attention because you're causing so much harm, or what you're doing and what you're directing to people is causing, or directing people to do rather, is causing so much harm. And then on top of it, to know that what's going on in Gabbie's Patreon is she planned this whole thing and orchestrated it for, I don't know, this 12-part series to get attention on it. It's just like all a lot. This is why I don't pay attention to Gabbie Hanna. Nothing positive comes from her, and I hope she gets better. I hope she starts to unlearn some of this internal misogyny. I hope if she does have this ADHD that she gets better. I hope Trisha recovers well and gets the tools that they need to work through these triggers. I'm just really disgusted. So that is it for today's video. If you liked, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I swear to God, I'm going to be getting a true crime video out. It just takes a lot more time and prep, but I will be having some other style commentary videos coming out soon, so check those out. And I was thinking about doing a live stream. I don't know if there's still interest for that. If you'd like to join me on a live stream, I will actually leave something in my discussion board so people can comment like times or something. I can't do polls yet because I don't have that many subscribers. Oh, I did also want to say I am kind of blown away that I'm actually over 300 subscribers right now. Like, holy shit, I think I have 314. And when I hit 500 subscribers, I want to do another giveaway. I'm not really sure what it is yet. It might be like makeup related. I was thinking maybe skincare related to maybe like some masks or something like that. So yeah, or candles. I don't know, something that like other people can enjoy too that maybe don't really use makeup. Are there people like that? I will leave you guys with that today. Please, like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Laters. Bye.